About the Mouvement, laïque québécois v. Saguenay case from 2015 in the Supreme Court of Canada as applies to freedom of religion. So in this case, the plaintiff attended the council meetings that ended in a prayer with other religious elements present like art on the walls, crosses on the walls, and the plaintiff asked the mayor to stop the practice. The mayor refused. Plaintiff complained to commission. This eventually led to it going to the tribunal. So the argument from the plaintiff was that the freedom of conscience and religion was being infringed, contrary to subsection 3 and 10 of the Quebec Charter. And he asked that the recitation of the prayer cease and that all religious symbols be removed from council chambers. The tribunal agreed and ordered relief, but this then went to the Court of Appeal. And the Court of Appeal found no charter violation had occurred. The Supreme Court allowed appeal of the Court of Appeal's decision. The issue here was whether freedom of conscience and religion was infringed by holding prayer and displaying religious symbols in a municipal council meeting. This freedom of conscience and religion is stated in subsection 3 and 10 of the Quebec Charter. And the rule is that the state is required to act in a manner that is respectful of every person's freedom of conscience and religion. And that's the rule derived from this case. The analysis from the Supreme Court here is that the state has a duty for religious neutrality. It must neither favor nor hinder a particular belief or non-belief. The tribunal noted that the plaintiff was sincere in his atheism and assessed the effects of the prayer on his freedom of conscience and religion. And the tribunal observed that the plaintiff felt isolated, uncomfortable, and excluded. This led the tribunal to conclude that the prayer and the exhibiting of religious symbols resulted in an interference with the plaintiff's freedom of conscience and religion that was more than trivial or insubstantial, and that interference was discriminatory. The tribunal then considered the bylaw and found that the prayer provided for had a religious purpose that was incompatible with the state's duty of neutrality. Since such a purpose could not be valid, the tribunal was of the opinion that the bylaw could not be justified under section 9.1 of the Quebec Charter, and the tribunal found it was unnecessary to consider proportionality here. Finally, it rejected the respondents' arguments that the prayer was justified on the basis of respect for tradition and of their attempt at reasonable accommodation. And the conclusion by the Supreme Court was that this appeal should be allowed and that the tribunal was correct in its reasoning in terms of freedom of conscience and religion. It did have a few qualms with the civil procedure involved. Thank you for watching my video. Please do me a big favor and hit that like button and subscribe to get more videos on law school and NCA exam prep.